completely out of 3D scans from images. So I went out, took a bunch of photos, and converted them into just straight into 3D models. Pretty wild that I could just take scans of pictures, have them turn straight into models. Most of these were actually taken off of my phone. I was at the beach, and I thought, I better see if this program works. Now, you can see some of it didn't turn out too great. Some of these I've messed around with. So like this pumpkin, I took 13 photos, and using a program called Meshroom, I made a pumpkin. Turned out pretty good for 13 photos. These other ones, I walked around with my camera, I just using a program called 3D Scanner, and I think it turned out pretty well for using my cell phone, right? So let's just check it out. I haven't really made much of an attempt to clean up these images. Certainly off my cell phone, they don't look, super awesome, but here's a rock formation, down at the beach on the coast, and I just, walked around, and pretty wild. My phone was able to render all this with the 3D Scanner Android app, and pretty much able to just drop it almost straight into Unity here, and it's working. You'll notice I didn't set the back of these faces to work right, so you can see through them, but from this perspective, it works great. With a little cleanup, this could be pretty awesome. And of course, the climbing script from VR Interactions works great. Let me just take another quick around here. So, and then I'll walk through how to use that program. So here's a rock I took. I think this was a little more HD. These were off of probably about a dozen photos of this rock, and I threw it into the program Meshroom, and it just converted it straight to this image. This fire hydrant, I probably took about 20 pictures of it, and it turned out pretty surprisingly well that I could just take some photos and make something like this. Let's walk over here. Some of this I didn't clean up. There's some artifacts, but pretty fast clean it up in Blender. I'll show you how I clean these up real quick. And let's just see a few more things I got here. So it's pretty much the same thing over there. This is a rock. I decimated it down to only 7,000 triangles or vertices, so turned out okay for that. And I think, where are those pumpkins at? So maybe I threw this together. I had some starfish, but okay. Cool. Okay, so this was really cool. So at the beach, you can imagine that I just walked around with my camera, and probably about 10 minutes, scanned all these photos of this tunnel. And wow, it looks just like, when I was there. And I didn't mess with these shaders at all, so it's a little too glossy. But yeah, there was this sort of arch at the beach, and then the other side, all these rocks, with the the waves were lapping over them. You can kind of see the water looked like, and wow, it turned out pretty decent. I think there was even a starfish back here, but yeah, didn't get a shot of that. And let's go look real quick. I walked by some cabins and just kind of slowly walking, about 1 step per second. I was able to scan this trail on the beach. So yeah, walking about this pace with my phone, and oh yeah. So here's some. And of course, on my phone, it didn't pick up these trees that well, but this was just some brush. Yeah, let's get back to this path. So yeah, walking down this path, and yeah, there was some incline there, and oh yeah, there's some other stuff I scanned. Yeah, same method. Just walking down the street, walking down a neighborhood, and this turned out surprisingly well for not even cleaning it up here. Once again, right off my cell phone. So, and there you have it. It picked that up. Okay, so let's take a look at how I did this. So, yeah. So basically, for shot off the cell phone, it just gives me a group of files that have the 3D scanner app. And all I did was I made a material out of all of these images. And my noob way of doing it is just to make a cube and drag them onto the cube. And I'm sure there's a better way, but so for instance, just drug them like this. Once they all had materials made, I could just grab the object here and drop it straight in. And it wasn't picking up the images correctly without having the materials pre-made. And you want to click in here and go and enable the generate colliders. Yeah, I just drug that straight off my cell phone. This is the output. Now for Meshroom, let's take a look. Let's see if I have a recent one. No. So let's make a new one here. And this is also open source program, free, and barely used it, but it works amazing. So here's a group of photos that I took. About 10 photos off my phone. Just took some pictures around a circle of this rock. No big deal, but yeah, you just drop it in here. The default settings, I just hit start. So I'm gonna go through these steps, and if you don't have images that line up well, it seems to automatically ignore them. And if you have shadow enough images, it can really screw it up or not work at all. So yeah, this might take a few minutes, but basically it's going to render through here. I just got to click on textured. I think that's all you got to do when you're done. but maybe if you click solid, you can right here and do show container folder, and it says go the file folder 404. No, let me show you. So if I go into Meshroom, you can click spot to save it, and for instance, this will be the Meshroom. So I have a few different folders. I go into the cache, go into texturing, and then all the different build iterations I made will be here. But yeah, I just go into, here's my mesh, here's my texture. Some of them might have multiple textures, and that you'll drop them. You kind of hover over the model in Unity when you drop it in there to make it drop in the right spot. And then if you're going to clean something up, here's one I just did. So let me kind of undo, Control Z. Okay, so I imported my scan from my phone, and then I go to the mesh there, and I just kind of grab, well, first click on it, edit mode, select everything, delete vertices, boom, and then when I'm done, I just export it back out as an object file, and I can go back into here, and it works. So let's go see if Meshroom, so it's still working through it here, but you can see how it's starting to render it. But yeah, no big deal. And that's it. So let me find those starfish real quick. What I call them, sea life. Yeah, I put them under this rock. So, so I was able to make this one. Let's see how many vertices it is. Okay, so 1600 vertices, and well, I get some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I wasn't realizing this was working that well until I imported it. It didn't quite look this good on the phone. And for instance, this pumpkin, when I decimated it, it got down to, must have started at 37,000. No, whoa. So 138,000 triangles off of 13 pictures. Although a lot of that's junk, I just didn't crop out here. So I bet you it's less than half of that. And then here, just trim this one way down to a few thousand, but yeah. And that's it. This is a world made completely with 3D scan images that were converted into 3D models automatically. And most of these I did not touch up at all. And wow, yeah, that turned out all right. Yeah, here's the rock I stripped down that just a few thousand triangles, which I don't think actually looks all that great, but yeah, here's what it looks like. I think this was around probably 40,000 triangles I made. And this is pretty blown up compared to the actual size of the rock. I mean, it was only about this big. But pretty cool. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go one more spot back out to these rocks. And yeah, just really cool how it looks. Well, that's it. Later.